everybody, how's it going? It's Neil from the Pentatonic Way, and I'm back with another track today. I'm going to show you how I approach jamming over this Gloomy B minor blues jam using various pentatonic scales and try to stay in one spot on the neck today. It's a very cool jam. It's not really bluesy. I was talking to a student, we were working on it, and he's like, well, this isn't really blues. It's not like a 12-bar blues, but it's like a bluesy sounding groove or something, almost jazzy or R&B, I guess. Yeah, let's check out the changes just a sec. I just want to say, if you're into this sort of thing, subscribe, notify, whatever you do, all the things so you never miss a lesson. They're free and they're cool, and this is the information I wish I had when I was learning before I knew this stuff. Cool. All right. So let's check out this progression today. It's B minor, like I said. So the first chord is either B minor or B minor 7. Either one works. We're just going to look at it. We can do B minor 7 if you know how to do that. 7 on the top string, that's your B. You mute out that A string using the bottom of that middle finger. Then you're going to bar 3 7s in a row here with your ring finger. That's a really cool way to play in B minor 7. Right? But we're just going to approach that as if it were just a B minor. Right? So we're going to use the first shape of the pentatonic on there. I'm going to turn up my guitar so I can get those little... Anyway, I digress. All right, so you got B minor 7. And then the next chord is A major 6. We could do that, or we could do this. Right, there's your A major 6. We could also do something like this. Maybe that'll work. So what that is, I just took that A major bar chord that you have at the 5th fret, and there's 2 places where you can play a 6th right around here. On the D string at the 4th fret. So in that case, you'd replace your pinky finger here, that string, that's your root, which you're already playing, so just bring it back here. So you get the root, the 5th, the 6th, and then the 3rd. Kind of a cool sound. You could also, instead, do this. So you have the root, then another root, just keep that root. Then you get your 3rd here, and now we replace the 5th, that was there on the 5th fret actually, to the 6th, which is on the 7th. Does that make sense? Who's on first? 3rd bass. So that one you end up 5, muted A again, and then you got 7, 6, 7. Which might work because those are the same strings that we're playing that B minor on. All right? Then you got G major 7. You could even play that up here. This is probably where I'd play it. So you have a G chord, just flat that. So that's 10, 9, 7, 7. Your root, your 3rd, your 5th, and your major 7. And then, last but not least, you have an F sharp 7, sharp 9. Oh, sorry, that's regular 9. Sharp 9, that's the Hendrix chord, but usually, like in Purple Haze, it's based on the E. So just move that up 2 frets and you got F sharp here. So you end up with 9, 8, 9, 10. All right? So it's kind of a groove, like, Whoop, that's a sus chord. I'm just going to play regular major and minor for now. B minor, A major, G major, F sharp 7. So that's pretty cool. You got your 1 minor, you got a flat 7 major, flat 6 major, and then the 5 of 1 minor brings us right back to that. All right? Very cool sound and progression. Almost reminds me of Portishead. I don't know, people my age would probably remember them. They had that funky like lo-fi groove before lo-fi was cool, with cool singing over it and everything. They'd actually have to distress their audio files by putting them on the ground and running them over with a skateboard and stuff, so the drum track sounded like and stuff, and they ran the singing through a little radio and then re-recorded it. Really cool production, but very cool vibe. So they always had like a descending chord progression like this. All right, so let's talk about what scales we're going to use here. We're going to stay right around this 7 to 9 area, because that's where we would probably go if we're doing B minor 7, right? That's where I would think of it. Like down here is fine too with the 4th shape, but you know, this is your 1st shape of the Pentatonics. I feel like that's kind of intuitively where we'd be kind of drawn to. So we're going to play the 1st shape there on the 7th fret. Now for the A major 7, there's your A right there, and usually that would be your 2nd shape, right? But what we're going to do instead is play the 3rd shape here, starting on the 7, so that's 7 9 7 9 7 9 6 9 7 10 7 9. So you get, you know, going from to, right? You just flatten these 2 notes. Oh wait, it would be this note and this note. Also this note, I guess. From the change between that 1st shape and the 3rd shape. And those notes changing is what's going to make it sound like we're following the progression. Our 3rd chord is the G major. G major 7. Right? So what we could do if we want to do G major straight up, that's going to be the 4th shape starting on the 7th here. There's your root. So 7 10 7 10 7 9 7 9 8 10 7 10. Cool. Or you could do the 1st shape, so you're basically playing B minor pentatonic, but instead of playing the root now, you'd be really highlighting that major 7. So you have that. Whatever. So that's another thing you can do, but I'm going to focus on just using straight ahead G major for that. And now we have our F7, which you can play like that. I'll show you different ways to play it based off of this same chord, right? We're doing for G, which is 10 9 7 8. You can even throw the 7 on the bottom. So that's G. To get F sharp, we just go down a fret, right? So you got 9 8 6 7 6. But we want to make that, instead of major, we want to make it into a 7th chord. Do you know how to do that? Talk amongst yourselves and figure it out. Hold on a second. Yeah? Is that your final answer? Okay, you're right. You got to take one of these 2 root notes and flat them, right? So you could do this. You could do 7 8 6 7. And that takes that F that sharp that was here and flats it. Or we can replace the 5th with the 7th here. The 5th of the chord, which is on the 6th string, the 6th fret of the 3rd string, up to the 9. So you'd end up with 9 8 9 7. So you'd have G to F sharp 7. That's a cool sound. into the B minor, which is good voice leading right there all along. So, all right. Whew, I don't know about you, but it is super hot where I am right now. So yeah, let's see what that sounds like when I jam on it. I'll do it, I mean, you heard the intro, but here it is without any backing track. I was just thinking, did I show you what to play over the F sharp 7? All right. That's the most important part. All right, so we have this F sharp 7, sharp 9. Now, if you're Jimi Hendrix, if you like Jimi Hendrix, you can play F sharp minor pentatonic over it because the sharp 9 is actually the same note as the flat 3. So in that case, you would just take, like we were doing the 4th shape for the G, you would take that down a fret. Oh wait, no, sorry. My bad. You would instead, you'd have your F sharp here, right? So you'd play the 3rd shape, like we're doing for the A major, right? So that is the same scale. So you could play the 3rd shape in the same place we played it for the A major. But what I'm going to do, and what I like to do on this one, because it really brings out this cool sound and tells you the end of the progression is here and it's going to come back to the beginning, is I'm going to take the 4th shape of the pentatonic and move it down a fret, just like we did with the G major chord and the F sharp major chord. And then what I'm going to do is, this is your root, and typically you'd be playing the major 6th. Just raise that up, right? And the same here. So you get a shape of the dominant pentatonic scale, which is awesome scale. So the notes are, for the F sharp dominant 7 pentatonic, 6, 9, 7, 9, 6, 8, 6, 9, 7, 9, 6, 9. Now when I play that, you can hear, like, when it goes back to the B, it sounds so powerful. Like there's so many notes that resolve back to the B, which is cool. So stuff like that is great. So here's the B, and you're just going, and then it goes to A, so you gotta go to 3rd shape. So now you have to reach down here. And the G is back here, 4th shape, and then there's the F. One note from that F sharp, and you feel it. You're like, oh, that's gonna go back to, right? So like grabbing a motif like that is great to, when you're switching scales like this, because then you can just change it, and it's not too grating on the ears. Like there isn't so much information coming at the listener that they're like, oh, I'm getting saturated. It's just the same lick, same rhythm. And then maybe move it. And that's cool. You're going up that's all in the F sharp, and the next note is B, the next chord, and here I am. I surrounded it with the 2 notes from the F sharp pentatonic and then really tried to target that, like a target note, when that chord went, right? So I like big leaps like that too. Like, so I'm going from the A, B minor to the A. So if I go here, that's a huge leap, dramatic. And that's a note that's not in the B minor. So it just sounds so crazy. It's a jump. And it sounds like, well, I haven't heard that note, but then it just makes sense with the A major because it's right there, you know? So. Something like that's cool too, like just kind of creating a pattern and then just switching the pattern as the chords change. So I was just kind of, you know, that's all in the 4th shape of that G. And then it changes to the F. Maybe now we're back in the B. There was that same thing again where I surrounded that B minor, you know? So there's certain things you can do in those shapes right there, and that's just one shape from each chord, you know? So there's 5 other spots on the neck with 5 other combinations of shapes, you know? So, and then those will kind of lend to different phrases that will fall out of your fingers. So I encourage you to try this. Reach out to me if you want some help with it. Yeah, if you have any backing tracks that you'd like me to kind of work on, I would love that. I'm always looking for cool new backing tracks. Put them in the comments down there. And also let me know if you try this and it works for you. Reach out, man. Let me know. All right, I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye-bye.